Reflections in the Dark, based on real stories. The city was cloaked in a blanket of morning haze, its pulse a rhythm of silent desperation. I'm Bobby Riley, a private eye whose life had become as fractured as the cases I solved. The streets no longer sang with the same familiar tunes of crime and deceit. They screamed of loneliness and a sense of worthlessness that I could no longer ignore. It had been weeks since my last big case, and the emptiness gnawed at me. The thrill of the hunt had faded, replaced by a void that I couldn't fill. My office was a mausoleum of unfinished cases and broken dreams, the air thick with the stench of stale whiskey and regret. I was lost in a haze of self-pity when she walked in. Laura Bennett, a journalist with eyes that pierced through the darkness. Her presence was a ray of light in my otherwise dismal existence. Laura was a whirlwind of determination and empathy. Her eyes, a mix of stormy blue and gray, spoke of stories untold and truths yet to be uncovered. She carried herself with a confidence that bordered on defiance, her presence both unsettling and comforting. She had a case, one that would challenge me in ways I never imagined. She sat across from me, her gaze unwavering. Mr. Riley, I need your help. My brother David has gone missing. The police aren't taking it seriously. They think he just ran off, but I know him. Something's wrong. Her voice was a melody of concern and desperation, striking a chord within me. I needed a case, but more than that, I needed a purpose. David was an enigma, a brilliant but troubled young man who had been working on a story that threatened to expose some of the city's most powerful figures. His disappearance was shrouded in mystery, and the clues were scarce. Laura's belief in her brother's innocence and determination to find him mirrored my own struggles with loneliness and self-worth. David's apartment was a chaos of scattered papers and broken dreams. His laptop was gone, the desk overturned, and a single photograph of him and Laura lay crumpled on the floor. It was clear he had uncovered something dangerous, something that had made him a target. As I sifted through the wreckage, I found a notebook hidden beneath the floorboards. Inside were cryptic notes and references to a shadowy figure known only as the Raven. The name sent a shiver down my spine. A ghost from my past, a nemesis I thought I had buried long ago. The city's heartbeat with a rhythm of deception as I delved deeper into the case. Each lead was a thread in a tangled web of corruption and danger. Laura's presence became a constant, her determination a beacon that guided me through the darkness. We spent countless nights poring over David's notes, piecing together the fragments of his investigation. Our shared moments of frustration and discovery forged a bond between us, one that hinted at something deeper. Laura's voice was soft, but insistent. Bobby, you're not alone in this. We're going to find him. Together. Her words were a balm to my wounded soul, but the shadows of doubt and self-loathing continued to plague me. The Raven was a specter that haunted my dreams, a reminder of past failures and the lives I couldn't save. The more we uncovered, the more dangerous the case became. The Raven's reach extended far and wide, ensnaring politicians, businessmen, and law enforcement in its grasp. Each step forward felt like a dance on the edge of a knife, the threat of falling ever present. Laura and I followed a lead to the heart of the city's elite, a members-only club known as the Veil. The club was a sanctuary for the powerful and the corrupt, a place where secrets were traded like currency. Gaining access was no small feat, but Laura's credentials as a journalist got us through the door. The Veil was an opulent maze of dimly lit rooms and whispered conversations. We navigated the labyrinth, our footsteps muffled by the plush carpets. The air was thick with the scent of expensive cigars and deception. We found ourselves in a private lounge, hidden from prying eyes. It was here that we stumbled upon a clandestine meeting between the Raven and a group of shadowy figures. Laura's bravery shone through as she discreetly snapped photographs, capturing the damning evidence we needed. But our luck ran out when one of the guards spotted us. The chase through the club was a blur of adrenaline and fear. We were cornered in an opulent drawing room, its walls lined with priceless art and dark secrets. The Raven stood before us, a figure cloaked in darkness, his voice a venomous hiss. "You should have stayed away, Riley. This isn't your fight." I squared my shoulders, the weight of my past and present bearing down on me. "It is now, and I won't stop until David is found." But just as the Raven prepared to strike, a shot rang out. The sound echoed through the room, and the Raven collapsed, clutching his side. I turned to see Laura, her hand steady, holding a gun. Her eyes were fierce, but there was a tremor in her voice. "I didn't come here to lose my brother, Bobby, and I won't lose you either." With the Raven incapacitated, we hurried to secure him, but he managed to whisper one last chilling sentence before losing consciousness. "You think you've won, Riley? You're just scratching the surface. The real threat is closer than you think." The police arrived shortly after, taking the Raven into custody. As Laura and I stood in the grand, shadow-filled room, a sense of quiet victory settled in. We had found David, tied up but alive, in a back room. He was shaken, but safe. As dawn broke, Laura turned to me, her eyes filled with gratitude and something deeper. "Thank you, Bobby, for everything." I looked at her, the loneliness and worthlessness that had plagued me slowly melting away. "We'll find him, Laura, and when we do, we'll expose the truth." She smiled, and for the first time in a long time, I felt a glimmer of hope. The Raven's words lingered in my mind, but as I walked away from the club with Laura by my side, I knew that whatever the future held, I wasn't facing it alone. Together, we would uncover the deeper mysteries, face the unseen threats, and maybe, just maybe, find a new beginning in the process. As the sun rose over the city, casting its first light on the streets below, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The case had challenged me, pushed me to my limits, but it had also reminded me of who I was and what I was capable of. With Laura by my side, I knew that no matter how dark the path ahead, we would face it together.